and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Friday, April 18th.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cash back really adds up.
We begin with an update to a story we brought you earlier this week. A federal judge has denied a request from the ACLU of Indiana to block the federal government from removing 7 international students whose visas were revoked. The ACLU had asked for a temporary restraining order while it sues the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The lawsuit says Homeland Security violated federal law and the students' rights to due process by revoking the visas without explanation. But U.S. District Judge James Patrick Hanlon wrote that the students had not demonstrated irreparable harm to warrant his intervention. The ACLU says it is evaluating its next steps. On to a story out of Florida gaining national attention, the shooting at Florida State University that left 2 people injured. Right now, investigators are still working to find out about a possible motive. They have identified the suspect as Phoenix Eichner, the son of a sheriff's deputy who was believed to be a Florida State student. The gunfire led to a chaotic scene around lunchtime yesterday outside of Florida State Student Union. Investigators believe that Eichner used his mother's former service handgun, killing 2 men who were not students. Police say 5 others were wounded by gunfire, and a 6th person was hurt while running away. Tallahassee's police chief says officers on scene shot and wounded Eichner after he refused to comply with their commands. The chief says Eichner suffered serious injuries, but he is expected to survive. Out of Maryland, the senator pushing for the release of a man wrongly deported to a prison in El Salvador says the 2 finally met last night. Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen posted a photo of the meeting with Kilmer Abrego Garcia on social media. He did not give an update to the man's status, but says he will once he returns home. It is the first time the public has seen Abrego Garcia since he was deported last month.
There's been no ability to find out anything about his health and well-being. I should point out that this inability to communicate with his lawyers is a violation of international law.
The Justice Department has admitted in court that deporting Abrego Garcia was a mistake, but some members of President Trump's administration continue to say that he has ties to the MS-13 gang without offering evidence. A federal appeals court panel blasted the Trump administration for continuing to say it cannot do anything to bring Abrego Garcia back to the U.S. Yesterday, in a blistering order, the 3-judge panel refused to suspend a lower court decision to order sworn testimony on whether the administration ignored orders to facilitate his return. In his opinion for the court, Judge Harvey Wilkinson wrote that the administration was asserting a right to stash away residents of this country in foreign prisons without the semblance of due process. That is the foundation of our constitutional order. Back in Indiana, ITMate has been following a story out of Marion County where tens of millions of dollars of taxpayer funds set aside to help those in need are going untouched. Tim Spears reports.
We're talking millions of dollars just last year. Poor assistance is kind of the government equivalent of neighbor helping neighbor. It's hyper-local help for things like car repairs, medicine, even rent. It's money one woman believes could have kept her from losing her home. She knew this house had problems, but this is all Cecilia Craig could afford.
And I have kids, so it's kind of the last thing that I could get into as well.
There was mold, holes, and damage throughout the home, but she didn't know about the water leak, leading to utility bills topping $800, an amount she couldn't afford.
I'm trying to keep this roof over our head, our bill paid, and food. There's not much help out here for mothers that's really on the right path and trying to make it for their children.
Asking the Washington Township Trustee's Office for assistance, Craig claims she was denied when they couldn't get her landlord on the phone. The trustee, without speaking on specific cases, told me that would not disqualify an applicant.
I feel like if I would have got help from the trustee, I wouldn't have owed nothing.
I went through the latest financial reports for all 9 Marion County townships, and last year, more than $12.5 million set aside for poor assistance went unspent. And this follows a year-long report assembled by advocacy groups, finding that townships had high denial rates, long wait times, and many offered no walk-in appointments.
We have no idea how many people are being turned away because of the process or the lack of process in some of the offices.
Aaron Spiegel is executive director of the Greater Indianapolis Multi-Faith Alliance, which helped assemble the report, calling for at least 80% of assistance funds to be spent every year. Millions are left on the table.
Tens of millions. A dramatic number of evictions could be avoided in Marion County if we had better access to the funds that we are paying into.
Some are following recommendations. I reached out to every trustee in Marion County. Following the report, Wayne Township said it expanded eligibility for assistance and meets that 80% assistance goal.
I'm really disappointed in all this. It's really emotionally scarred me.
For Craig,
it's just sad that a family would have to suffer through this.
After falling behind on rent, her landlord wouldn't renew her lease. She's now staying in a hotel and believes help from her trustee could have kept her housed.
I feel more sad for my kids than anything because they had to experience this.
Last year's $12.7 million left untouched is just the money set aside for assistance, without mentioning the township's overall surplus or rainy day funds. Last year, Center Township, which did not respond to my questions, had nearly $8 million relief dollars left over. In studio, Tim Spears for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook for updates.
In Wayne County, the state fire marshal is investigating the cause of an explosion and house fire that critically injured 2 people. Richmond police say it happened yesterday morning on Randolph Street, just west of the Whitewater River. First responders say they found 2 people with burns outside of the home. Police say they were flown to Eskenazi Health in Indianapolis, and at last check, both were in critical condition. Investigators say 2 children were also evaluated on scene for potential smoke inhalation. At the State House, lawmakers have given final approval to a bill that will create a committee to possibly annex counties from Illinois to Indiana, although it is unlikely to happen anytime soon. Yesterday, the Senate passed the measure, sending it to Governor Mike Braun's desk. It would establish a committee to look at adding counties from Illinois, but the bill was amended to make Illinois participation voluntary. The Illinois legislature is controlled by Democrats, and lawmakers there say they do not plan to take up the measure. Also at the state capitol, the House has sent a bill to the governor that could give Marion County a big boost in road funding. Democrats say House Bill 1461 would make up to $50 million in road funding grants available to the county starting in 2027 if the city agrees to match that amount. The bill would also adjust the road funding formula to address more densely populated areas. Let's talk sports. Signs are flying high all around the city as excitement builds for race day. Former Indy 500 winner Scott Dixon and Chip Ganassi driver Alex Palou now have streets named after them downtown. Dixon's sign is on the north side of Monument Circle. Palou's sign is on the northeast corner of North Illinois and Georgia. The city says you will see more street signs and race decor all around the city as we inch closer to the big day. The green flag for the Indy 500 is set to drop on May 25th. When it comes to the weather, Storm Track 8 says we are in for a warm but partly cloudy day today. But we are in for a washout this weekend. Meteorologist Marcus Bailey has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
Here this morning, it's not super windy, and we'll have a good mix, I think, of sun and clouds as we hit daybreak, a little more than a half an hour from now. We are 22 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago, so it's a tremendous surge. In fact, we're only a couple of degrees off of our high temperature from yesterday afternoon. Quiet through the 8 o'clock hour, numbers near 60 degrees, and again, dry. The winds will quickly increase by mid to late morning, and a lot of the second half of the day, 30 to 35, maybe as high as 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts straight out of the south. Not quite advisory criteria, but awfully close. If you got some loose objects in the backyard, make sure they're kind of buttoned down here, because that could easily be whipped around. Numbers are going to be very warm today, 74 by around lunchtime. If you're heading out for Good Friday services around 3 o'clock, you're going to be knocking on the door of 80 degrees for this afternoon. Now, we're going to be eyeing some thunderstorm risks. We already see that here in Iowa and Wisconsin. A few severe thunderstorm warnings. Some of those warnings may scoot our way later on tonight into the overnight. There's a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe storms across much of our metro area and points west. We'll time out when those storms arrive, and more rain, potentially heavy, as we gear up for your Easter weekend. It's all of my Storm Track 8 forecast coming your way in just a few minutes.
To get a peek at Marcus Bailey's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com, or you can download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And don't forget to check out our Storm Track 8 weather blogs. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Friday, April 18th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.